When deciding on your audition speeches, you may have heard the advice, avoid popular speeches. And that kind of makes sense, right? There are thousands of people auditioning for the same drama schools that you are, and you want to stand out. And one way of doing that is finding a totally unique speech that nobody else is doing. Well, sorry to break your bubble, but it's not actually that straightforward. Firstly, especially with classical speeches, there's only about 100 to 200 usable, suitable for drama school speeches out there, because all of the playwrights are not writing anymore because they're dead. So you've not got endless amounts of speeches being written. And when it comes to contemporary, yes, there are loads and loads more because they are constantly being churned out because contemporary writers are writing all the time. But here's the thing, the speech choice will only take you so far. It's the performance, your presence, and the creative choices that you employ in the audition room. It's how well you communicate your creative thoughts to the audition panel. So putting in all of your effort into finding and searching and discovering a speech that nobody else has done before is so much more of a waste of time than actually putting the effort into developing your creative choices and using a speech that, yeah, sure, other people may have been using, but bringing it to life in a clear and bold way. That is the thing that is going to set you apart. Popular speeches are not the devil. They are popular for a reason. Welcome back! And if you're new here, then welcome for the first time. I'm Louise, I am an audition coach, and I have been helping actors for multiple years get into conservatoire level training in multiple places around the UK. And I also have a very exciting and very new online platform called act.cool, where you can find tools and resources and an amazing community of like-minded actors who are going through the same audition process as you. So if this is something that you're interested in, and I highly recommend it, then check out the description box below for how you can sign up. It is a really good place to be if you do not want to be doing this audition season alone. Okay, so we actually need to just define some stuff. Overused, popular, and famous or iconic speeches. You will hear coaches and other actors say, oh no, don't use that speech, it's too overused. And that's got some really negative connotations. Firstly, who gets to decide when a speech has been overused, when an audition season is oversaturated with one particular speech? A few schools even dictate classical speech lists where you only have the choice of choosing from a handful of classical speeches. So those audition panels know that there are going to be repeats, that there are going to be speeches done again and again and again, but that doesn't make them overused. We actually need to call it what it is, which is popular. And just like with Taylor Swift and Nike trainers and Aperol spritz and going on holiday to Rome in the summer and drinking pumpkin spice lattes in the autumn, they are popular for a reason. Because they're good, because they're nice, because we enjoy them, because they're suitable for purpose. That is not a bad thing. What is a bad thing, however, is choosing a speech purely because it is popular and for no other reason. Just going with a crowd and having no true connection to it. Like buying a pair of low-rise jeans because they have somehow, and I have no idea how because I was there when they first came out and they were horrible then and they are horrible now. But low-rise jeans coming back into style. You see a few of your friends wearing them, you see them online, you see them in shops, and you think, okay, well, I'll have to buy them then because they are popular. That because they are popular, you automatically assume that you have to include yourself within it. Stop that. Choose the low-rise jeans if you actually want the low-rise jeans. But if you don't, then choose the, the slouchy wide leg jeans. You know what I'm saying. The other thing that I mentioned that we need to demystify is this concept of famous or iconic speeches. Now I remember when Fleabag first came out, and I remember when Lungs was done at the Old Vic. People, Places, Things came out, or when Timothée Chalamet did a very iconic performance in Prodigal Son. There was a frenzy around all of these iconic famous speeches within these plays. And it wasn't necessarily the speeches that were the iconic thing, it was the performance associated with it. Yes, it was good writing, yes, it was a good story, but it's the performance that made it stick. The thing about memorable performances is that subconsciously your audition panel is going to connect them. So if you're bringing in a speech from Fleabag or People, Places, Things or whatever, your audition panel is going to subconsciously connect it to the original performance, and for where you're at in your journey, you're not going to match up. It's sad, but it's true, and it is worth noting. Now, I took to ChatGPT very recently to find out the likelihood of speeches being repeated by people in an audition season. I know I do some very fun things with my free time. Now, I focus purely on classical speeches because it's easier to account for, and because pretty much every single drama school requests a classical speech at some stage in their process. And here is what I discovered. If you say that roughly 2,500 people are auditioning for any one drama school at any one given time within the audition process, now for places like RADA it's going to be much higher, and for other drama schools it's going to be a little bit lower. So 2,500 is like an average. And over 90% of those schools are going to be requesting a classical piece, and from the people that are applying, 90% of those people are going to choose Shakespeare. Now, Shakespeare wrote roughly 500 speeches in amongst his roughly 39 plays. But not all of those speeches are any good, and certainly not all of them are suitable for drama school auditions. So let's whittle that down slightly. So let's say that there are roughly 170 speeches from Shakespeare plays that are usable for drama school. So 2,500 people auditioning, 90% of them are going to choose Shakespeare, and 90% of them are going to choose one of 170 speeches. So the likelihood of you doing the same speech as somebody else in amongst this audition season is sitting at about 99.9%. And the average number of people that are going to be doing exactly the same speech as you is about 14. And actually it's more likely to be much higher because there are some speeches that are used more than others. So I would actually place it more at about 50. 50 other people are going to be doing exactly the same speech as you on average. And that is not a big deal. The thing that you need to focus on is what you do with the material. You know that other people are going to be saying exactly the same words as you, but the thing that actually sets you apart is your unique perspective on the material, on the character, on the words, what you decide to do with it creatively. That is yours, not the 50 other people's. So yeah, it is not a carnal sin to be doing a popular speech, contemporary or classical. What is important is the reason why you choose it and what you choose to do with it. So don't stress about other people doing the same speech as you. Now, I hope you find this useful, and if you did, there is so much more to learn on my new platform, act.cool. There are resources, tools, training videos, workshops, and an amazing community. So make sure that you check out the description box below for more info. And until next time,